What's up, y'all, and welcome back to another episode of Chronicles of a Virgo Podcast. And as usual, I'm your favorite Virgo host, Shakita Johnson. And as you guys see, I'm joined by another lovely guest. This is a guest of honor because I am so honored he is bracing my platform with his wonderful spirit and presence. I have today with me, y'all, Mr. Ken of the MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. How are you doing today, sir?
Hey, hello, and I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Honestly, I'm so honored that you are here to talk to me and everyone listening today. I listen to you. I love your podcast, and you have been a phenomenal supporter. Like, I appreciate you more than you know. So thank you for taking the time out of your day to come sit and chat with us.
Yeah, thank you, and I appreciate you listening to my show, and I love your show too. So me being here is an honor. So
Thank you. Thank you. So yeah, y'all, we're gonna get into some things. So thanks for joining me back, you guys, today, checking us out. So just like normal, we're gonna start off with the good old mental health check. So, Mr. Ken, on a scale of 1 to 5, sir, how would you rate your mental health? So 5 being, you're in a good space, you're feeling good, right? And 1 being, I'm not feeling the best. I have some room for improvement, but I'm gonna get it together. How would you rate your mental health today?
today I would actually say a three. You know, some days my mood been lately been up and down. Some days be a five, some days be a three. Well, I remember last week was a one.
Mhm.
So for me to get back to a three, it feel a lot more better. 'Cause at least I'm improving every day, and at least I'm, getting back to my positive self. So yeah.
Okay. And I appreciate your honesty and thank you for your vulnerability. Um, yeah, as long as you're taking the necessary precautions to make sure you're maintaining yourself
Yeah, yeah,
and focusing on your self-care and your mental health and just finding out what is causing your mood to be down.
yeah, yeah,
Sometimes it can be our environments, and I know you up there in New York. I don't know how the weather is for y'all, but sometimes like rainy weather sometimes can influence people's mood and things. But whatever it is, hopefully you're able to get down to the bottom of it.
yeah. I gotta say the weather been really weird. Like it's been pretty much nice literally this whole week.
Mhm.
Like literally like 50s, 60s, and today was just raining and kind of like gloomy. But yeah, it been really. It feels spring, but not spring. That's how I'm feeling in New York right
Yeah, I'm down here in Baltimore. The weather is definitely bipolar. Today, I feel like
now.
it was like raining and I don't know if it was hailing or sleeting, what it was doing at one point, but it was extremely windy.
Mm,
This week it was also almost up to like 70 degrees. I feel like one
wow.
day. So it's definitely shifty. So I guess we'll
Yeah.
see, what what goes on.
Fact. Yeah. Fact. Real.
Yeah. But so my mental health today on a scale of 1 to 5, I'm going to give myself let's go with a 4. And
Mm.
I'm only going to do a 4 just because I am tired. I'm very tired. I think I'm going to claim that this is the final weekend of my whole move. I've been talking about this move for weeks now, but I've been talking about it, but I actually started moving like a week ago. Um just taking my time, and I think it's finally set in that like I'm about to have like a new beginning. It's
Mm.
not like the idle situation that I would want, but I trust that God is going to lead me to something better. I'm going to be safe and all that stuff, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
But sometimes, God got to break us down to put us
Yep.
back together. And I feel like I'm in that season of my life personally right now. So I just been like running around all day, extremely tired, and the weather being like it is does not help trying to
Yeah.
move.
Agree. Yeah. Agree. Like they always say, it's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Dark
Definitely.
times is only temporary. So yeah.
Yeah, definitely temporary. Thank you for that. And the reason I do these mental health checks is to remind everyone to take time out to check in with yourself, see how you're feeling, sit with those feelings. I don't believe in, avoiding those things when they come on, sit in it for a little bit to try to really figure out what it is. Because the longer you let those things fester, they just get worse,
Yeah.
and we do ourselves a disservice. So really sit with it, Try to find someone to talk to, journal, whatever positive coping skills you have, use them things at that time, you know?
Yeah, definitely
But
agree. Definitely agree.
thank you for joining in on the mental health check.
Mm.
And we're gonna get into some things now.
I know.
So we're going to talk about the topic for today is centered around main character energy in your own story.
Mm,
Like, what does it mean to like have that main character energy? And I feel like, you know, with us being like podcasters, content creators, whatever title you want to give yourself,
mhm.
especially for someone that runs their own platform, like we are the main person, the main face that people see, the main voice that people see. And it's like it takes a lot to step into that role.
Yeah.
So, what does it mean to you to be the main character in your story?
What it mean to me because of you know, doing podcasts like radio is always something that I always want to do.
Hmm.
And it took me a long time to do this, because as a kid I was picked on a lot. I deal with speech problems, stutter a lot, at least, and
Hmm.
it wasn't easy. And through all of that, I lost my confidence through all these years. So for all these years, I tried to do many things so I could fill that void.
Hmm.
I know I did acting, I did music, and I guess I feel like it didn't fit me. But then when I finally got the opportunity to do a podcast, I feel like if I slowly found my niche a little bit,
Hmm.
until people start telling me that how much it helped them and how much it's done. So yeah,
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I can relate a lot. And I know me and you have like, you see me comment on things that you posted on social media before when you spoke about things like that.
yeah,
I can definitely, you know, understand what that mean like feels like because as a kid, whether people believe it or not, I was severely bullied. Like
hmm,
I was severely bullied. My family was always at schools. Like I got taken out of schools, put in other schools. That's the reason why I got put in to private schools because
hmm,
like I was severely bullied. And I got, come home with black eyes and it was very traumatizing in school at one
yeah,
point.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Um it was either like for a child, it was like either because I wasn't white enough or I wasn't black enough, because I'm a light bright,
yeah,
But
yeah,
for a
yeah,
kid to try to defend what you are, or people made fun of my name, and for
mm,
years I've hated my name, and I grew up trying to fit in spaces where I didn't fit in, and I like needed outside validation to validate every role that I was trying to step into.
yeah,
And I went a long time in life through acting that out. And I've been in therapy and stuff like that, and that's helped tremendously.
yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. Me too. Yeah, me too. I could relate to that too.
you're in therapy?
Yeah,
Oh man. How does that like oh, I love these conversations. See, now I'm getting sidetracked. But how has therapy been how has therapy been for you?
um, it's been really good. I mean, I started doing the pandemic, so when I went to therapy for something else, based on the pandemic, because I dealt with anxiety, social anxiety, stuff like that,
Hmm.
it helped me discover more things about me,
Hmm.
about my childhood and about everything else that I've been dealing with. It kind of helped me with the podcast as well, because I learned to open up about those things now, especially in my later seasons. 'Cause I never, even though I had the podcast show, I never opened up heavy how I do now.
Hmm.
And so therapy played a big part in that, and it really helped me a lot. I know at the moment I'm not in therapy at the moment because financial reasons,
Hmm.
but when it's time to get back into it, I definitely would like to get back to it, stuff like that.
Most definitely. And so I've been in therapy since 2017.
Mm,
But I ended up switching therapists in 2021, September of 2021.
mm,
And this therapist I have now is like the best thing that's ever happened to me. Like I talk about her like all the time. Not that my other therapist wasn't, but in some ways she did kind of do me a slight disservice. It just wasn't challenging enough and it wasn't the type of care that I needed.
yeah.
So being in having a therapist that I have now, I started my podcast in January of last year.
Mm.
And in
January what?
2022.
Mm,
Yes, 2022. I started last year and She did we hadn't discussed anything like that. We wasn't working towards anything, but I always wanted to do it. But I didn't have the confidence. I was like, I'm not gonna know how to do this. It's so much. I listen to shows. I can never have my voice like that. I'm a writer. Like I have a blog. That's what I do.
Mhm.
The more I just like learned, I think I kind of found my place and I found my voice.
Yeah.
It's like that main character energy. Like I was like, okay, so this is what it feels like to be like the main character of your story. And it led me to like tell my own story of like my sexual assault last year for the first
Mhm.
time on an open platform.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh my God, like I really just did that, So I can definitely say that podcasting in itself has definitely given me a outlet to like find who I really am.
And I'm not gonna lie, you're doing an amazing job, and I'm really a fan of your show. And yeah, you keep doing your thing, man. Like you're doing that.
Thank you, man. No, listen, you be on a roll. Like you just had your what? What anniversary was it? You just
Oh,
passed your
oh,
fourth,
four,
right?
four, 4 year anniversary. Yeah.
Yeah, like you be doing a lot and you continue like to show up for so many people, like on Twitter and Twitter spaces, so Instagram, whatever, like you're just highly supportive. And I'm pretty sure anyone that's listening to me that knows you and has felt your support can say the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So continue to do the job that you're doing. But in showing up for other people, like how do you manage to continue to show up for yourself without neglecting yourself?
Um, Oddly, just by realizing why I'm doing this in the first place.
Hmm.
So even when times that I want to give up and stuff like that, even times that I just thought this season that I'm doing now will be my last season. Cause I just felt like what am I my purpose of doing this? Then I start to realize, look back and thought to myself, like you're doing it because this is something you love. You're
Hmm.
doing it because people come to you and say that you help them with their platform and you inspire them to continue what they're doing. So if you stop, then what am I do? What are they gonna do for me? If I end up stopping, then you pretty much go disappoint everybody else.
Hmm.
So I just realized, like, I love doing this, and I can't stop doing this. Just
Hmm.
help others, help myself, and I can see this going to bigger and better places.
Right. And I think as long as you keep like your purpose and your goals in the forefront of your mind, I feel like, at least for myself, like I fall short in many ways when it comes to this or in life in general, where I may
Yeah,
start something and I'm like, it's just like going to the gym, right? You get a good start and you're going for like days and weeks at a time. And then like you hit this plateau and you're like, oh my God, what do I do?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then you have to remember back to like the purpose and why you started, look back at like the comments and the reviews that people have left. And as people pour into you, I feel like, or I'm continuing to learn that the way people pour into me, like I have to continue to pour into myself in the same ways, continue to show up for myself in the same ways, because
Yeah,
if I'm not my best self, I'm not going to be beneficial to anyone else.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. And I definitely relate that last year.
Hmm.
And after my season 5 finale, I was going through a lot, and I was just like, I may have to end the show.
Hmm.
But then I took a step back, took a break, and then refreshed myself. I'm like, you know what? I just came back stronger than ever, and this season pretty much been one of my best seasons that I came out with so far. So
That's
yeah,
good. I feel like it's like there's a lesson in everything. I try to look at things like whether it's good or bad, there's a lesson or a blessing in every situation encounter that we face. It's how
yeah,
we approach it and how we respond to it. So, and I always say it's just like when you work a full-time job. Like for me, like I'm gonna use my PTO. Like I do
mhm,
not hesitate to take my
yeah.
time off. Okay, they need designated mental health days anyway.
I
So
agree. I agree.
so when it comes to like this podcasting thing or whatever, like if you, because I've seen you do it before, like I don't think I'm gonna do a show this week. Don't do it. You know,
Yeah,
like listen, I know people be counting on stuff, but if you're not feeling like your best, take the time to really focus in and figure out what it is.
yeah. Because I know I used to be a person who used to just no days off. Not only on podcast, but everything else. I always
Mm-hmm.
used to be no days off, but then I started to learn like sometimes it's okay to take days off and take breaks. I realize
Mm-hmm.
that now. I realize that now. I realize that now. So I'm trying to use as much of my break as much as I can. I'm about to take a break soon for a whole month. So
Do
so
it.
yes. So yeah.
Right. So like outside of like this whole like podcasting thing, content creator, has there been like other times in your life where you felt like you struggled to like show up for yourself or just be like the best version of yourself?
Yeah, I do all the time. It's been times that I have definitely it's been hard for me to show for myself. Just
Hmm.
like if I feel like no progress, it's hard to sometimes get back to that. Or
Hmm.
if you have other things that going on and you don't have the time to put up for your thing that you love, something like that, yeah, it is hard to really show up to myself and you just have to just take a step back and pretty much replan your next move.
Hmm. And how are you able to like, reset, regroup, and refocus? How are you able to get things back in order?
Usually just listen to music, some video game, TV, write down some quotes, stuff like that. Just to
Hmm.
just to take a step back. If this pretty much plan. Always thinking. I know many people say thinking not good because I tend to overthink sometimes, but thinking usually help me plan my next moves and play
Hmm.
like take a step back and just playing it out.
Yeah, I'm a Virgo, so overthinking is what we do a lot of times. We could be right on track and we're thinking 10 steps ahead of where
Yeah,
we
yeah,
actually
yeah.
need to be. So I do think like there can be like positive and negative parts of overthinking.
Agreed.
But in those moments like that you feel like you're falling short or you need to get it together. For me personally, like I am slightly obsessed with like just like self-development
Mm,
and just positive things because in this whole therapy and healing journey that I've been on in my life, it's been a lot of me having to really reprogram my thinking in general from being like a negative thinker or just quickly reacting certain ways. I've had
mm,
to pull, and take a step back and be like, okay, Shakita, like you can't act like this, you can't
agree.
think this
Yeah,
way. So in those moments, I like just have like alternative things that I listen to, like, positive podcasts,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
like audiobooks and stuff, or, so a lot of times I don't like to be around people if I'm in those spaces because I feel like my energy will rub off on them. So I
Yeah.
I just tend to hang around people that I know that are strong enough to take me on at that time.
I agree. I've been like that a lot more lately. I try to keep have time to myself and not be around, especially when I'm feeling that way. Don't be around anybody.
Hmm.
Because just like you said, you could rub off on somebody else and you could ruin somebody else's day. And that's not the type of thing I like to do. So
Yeah, definitely. And I think now because the world is like becoming more like into like technology, like you can find a lot of different like support online and different things. I mean, I know a lot of people are finicky about like online support groups and different things. But listen, I'm gonna find something. Like I'm able to find things when I'm not even looking for them, and it's good to have good community around you. And what I've also learned is even like being like doing podcasting and stuff, sometimes just recording, even if you don't put it out, you know, like for the month of November, I did yeah, I wouldn't call it like vlogging, but I literally recorded myself talking every single day. Like it was just
mm,
like a 5-minute video every single day. I had a purpose and then I didn't fulfill the purpose because I hate seeing myself in those like bad moments. But I know I overcame what I was going through at that time.
yeah.
It was like one of them dark internal battles.
Mm,
So I feel like as long as you can find like those positive outlets and stuff, you'd be good.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And you talk
Definitely.
about so much stuff on your show. Listen, I was like, I think the music show a couple weeks ago had me feeling like I was an elder. When I was talking about like Destiny's Child and all
Oh,
that. I'm like,
the old
I
school
had
show. The old school
I
show.
had the Barbie dolls and book bags. So like, man, but yeah. So with being in like, I don't know what you do for like if this is like your full-time work or anything, but like being in this type of industry in itself, content creation and just podcasting, how are you able to maintain like some type of positivity being on the internet? And that's just a
Um,
random question because I'm curious.
yeah. Well, as of right now, this is the main thing I'm doing right now. I mean, I do work, but this is like the main thing that I'm doing right now, and the main thing I want to do.
Mhm.
Um, repeat the question one more time. Yeah,
So being in like this internet space of
yeah.
podcasting, content creation and stuff, how are you able to maintain some positivity? In a sense, because there's so much negative stuff going
It,
on in the
it,
internet, how are you able to just maintain your own positivity and your own energy?
I ain't gonna hard. That's a hard question. Because it actually really is hard to maintain positive during a space of a lot of negativity.
Hmm.
But how I do it, I just try to stay off of the negative and try to focus on the positive.
Hmm.
Just continue to, I guess, stay away from that negative space. I guess you
Hmm.
could say. I'm gonna try to explain it the best way that I can, but yeah,
Yeah,
but just stay away from that negative space and just
like stay away from all the blogs, the
yeah,
shade
yeah,
rooms, the
yeah,
Hollywood. I'm like,
exactly. Or watching the news and stuff like yeah, stay away from all of that and just clear your mind and then just get back into it when you feel like it's good.
yeah, I definitely can say I struggle with it sometimes just because, like it's kind of addictive.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's kind of addictive in a sense, and I know me, like depending on what's going on, like I be like, "Oh my God, like why are they saying this?" Like I get offended about things that have nothing to do with me. Like if it's someone talk like the talk of the internet right now is the whole like, and I'm gonna talk about it. We could talk about it. The whole Beyonce thing, right?
Oh gosh.
Yes, like, all these Christian folks are, and no offense to you or anyone that's listening that resonates with, but I'm gonna say what I gotta say.
Do your thing. Do your thing. Do your thing. Do your thing. Do your thing.
Like all these Christian folks are like speaking up about Beyonce and like all these negative things to say, like she's a demon. If you go to her show, like you're this, you're that. And I have actually like watched a lot of videos trying to figure out like what the hell do y'all see that I'm not, because I've been a Beyonce fan. Like me and Beyonce share birthdays, okay?
I know. I get it. My sister is a Virgo, and she's also a Beyonce
See,
fan.
we the
I get it.
best. So like I to an extent was like indulgent in the conversation just because I wanted to know. Like I'm interested in other people's opinions and views, even though it may not resonate with me. I'm just curious to how you drew all those conclusions to get to that point.
Mhm,
S- You know, Before this, it was the Make the Stallion and Tory Lanez thing. Like I talked about that numerous times,
mhm,
but I realized like I really be having to take a step back, whether it's like put my phone down and like
mhm.
go do something else, log out of all my apps, or just really like there's something on the iPhones that you can like really monitor like your phone and app time.
Mm.
Even with that, because being around all that negativity or just feeling like you have to say something or do
Yeah,
something.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Same, yeah.
And I'm like, no, Shakira, you don't have to say anything. So I always be curious to like know like how other people, especially that have platforms like us, are able to maintain their peace. And for you, because you speak on a lot of like I've heard you speak on a lot of different things that like from trending topics and stuff.
Yeah, I know. On my team show, which is called the Premier Boy Podcast, it's separate from the Gentleman. We talk about a lot of topics like that on that
Hmm.
show,
Hmm.
and it's fun because like us four brothers to talk about like pop stuff, but it could be training sometimes talk about the stuff like that. I ain't gonna lie.
Hmm. Yeah, I bring it in play once in a while, but I try to keep things centered around like what my platform is intended
Yeah,
for,
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah.
know? And I don't know if you felt this way, but sometimes I have in the past, like I felt like I needed to talk about certain stuff to have people like interested to hear what I had to say or to check
Yeah,
out my show. Have you ever felt that way before?
I did. Yeah, I did. I did. A lot of my personal episodes is a lot of that kind of type of conversation.
Hmm.
Like something I needed to say,
Hmm.
like pretty much saying in that in those type of episodes, basically.
Yeah, but at the end of the day, like I had to realize that you know what, like this, you had to realize, remember what my purpose intended for this my whole podcast and stuff was, and not, had to not let other people dictate which direction, I was going to go in, or like
Yeah, yeah,
the
yeah.
direction my show went in. And it's crazy because like literally like months ago, I was like, someone told me like, girl, you got to continue to be the main character in your story. And I'm like, what are you talking about? So like ever since then, like I kept that in mind, because if I feel like if you're a person that's used to people validating your experiences and your feelings all the time and validating everything you do, they take your power away. You, because you don't know your full power, you don't know your full potential. But
Mhm.
until you're able to step into that, and you're able to be like, you know what, I write my own story. Like
Yeah,
I'm the main
yeah.
character. Like things are going to be centered around me.
That
Then
exactly.
you're able to fulfill that role better.
Yeah.
But
I,
everybody
I
don't
agree.
know.
That's true. Yeah, exactly. That's true. They think following what everybody else is doing is the way to go instead of following their own story.
Hmm.
Cause like you just mentioned, we write our own story and
Hmm.
we set our own path.
Hmm.
And yeah,
Yeah, and I don't know. Like it be hard sometimes though. I'm not gonna lie, just because it just be a lot of, things going on. But how are you able to manage like your personal life, set it like what's going on in your personal life, opposed to like stand on the right path and fulfilling like what your intended purpose is with your podcast and your career and all that stuff?
mm, I like I said before, it's just trying to realize like what the purpose of me doing this in the first place.
Hmm.
Because I ain't gonna lie, I've been through many times where I was going to 10 steps forward and then 20 steps back. And when that happened, that seemed to mess up my goal and my purpose. So I just always remind myself to always remember what the goal that you're going for and just continue to aim for it, even when time is hard, even when roadblocks is blocking you. Always continue to focus on that main path and
Mm,
focus on the main goal, the main purpose of why you're doing this in the first
that's some good advice.
place.
It is, and it's important, because I feel like a lot of times, because there's so much that happens in our lives and in the world, we get sidetracked a lot of times, and we lose
Mm,
sight of our like why we started this in the first place,
yeah,
or we lose sight of why we want to fulfill a goal.
yeah,
And
yeah.
everybody don't have the momentum and the drive to pick themselves back up, or they don't have the outside support.
That's true because I know a lot of podcasters who started when I started back in 2019, and I know by episode 7, a lot of them quit.
Mhm.
And I thought I was going to quit too around that time, but I didn't realize like, Kenny, you got to keep going. Like, this is just the beginning for you. You know that this show could go a lot more higher than you can imagine.
Yeah.
Just you gotta be patient and continue to work. And 4 years later, and I do pushing it, just growing every
Yeah.
day and just keep going.
Listen, I feel like you would be surprised at how amazing your life can change and get when you surrender to like any roadblocks and negativity that's only in your mind,
Yeah,
right? And
yeah,
you just let life just flow and just do things that you want to do. And I say that because that's literally where I was last year. Was like, like how you started your show, me starting my podcast. Like after my
mhm,
first season, I literally wanted to quit. I talked about
yeah,
it. I was like, oh, I see you guys in a couple months. And I didn't come back to a couple months after, you
mhm,
know. And despite like my health issues and stuff that I've had
yeah,
over the last months or whatever, I just didn't feel it. You know what I'm saying? But I was quickly reminded why I started this. And I know that you can also understand what I'm saying, because you have gotten the same what's the word I'm looking for? Opportunity to have your story featured in an online publication as well.
yeah,
Right? So congratulations to you for that.
yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, so I had mine as well. I had the Canva Rebel,
Oh, nice,
and
nice,
then I had the Voyage Baltimore magazine, which are,
nice.
two online magazines. If anybody out there is like, what is she talking about?
Oh, no,
But
it
yeah,
is.
But and it in the midst of me getting both of them offers, I was like really gonna just like pack it up and just see if I could just like ease away and delete
Yeah.
all my stuff and just like scrub the internet.
Hmm.
But I was like really reminded on like why I started this. And like I was like, you know what? No, I started for a reason. I need to
Exactly.
continue to show up for myself, get out of my own head, get out of my way, and like you said, keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going. And I know one thing that I don't know if you can this resonates with you. I know for myself it did, and a lot of other people I've talked to feel like just whether it's like podcasting or just like some type of entrepreneur goal or something that they're setting out on, people feel like they lack support. Have you ever felt that like with starting these you say yeah.
A whole lot, yes. Oddly, even to this day, even though I do support a lot of people, I do feel like sometimes I don't get that back in return, and that's
Mm,
kind of hurt. I'm not gonna lie, that do hurt my spirit sometimes. But I
mm,
try my best not to let that bother me, you
mm,
know. So I just continue to do what I'm doing, and eventually they will come around. Eventually,
yeah,
sometimes you just gotta stay focused on the purpose or your purpose, and stay be patient because it's gonna happen eventually. You know,
yeah.
all those who haven't support you in the past, they always come around later.
Hmm.
And even if we even big, they're gonna come around later. So I mean, yeah, I have like a support all the time. Actually, I know a lot of people think that I get all the support. I'm like, no, it definitely has not been that easy for me at all,
Yeah.
and
Now,
it's still not. But
do
yeah,
you feel like you have found more support in like online communities and people that you've met online opposed to like people in your personal and real life?
yeah, I think a lot more people who I haven't met support me more than people I actually know.
Hmm.
I mean, of course, I do got a few people who I do know do support me, but I feel like it's more people who I don't know support me more than people I do know.
Hmm.
Yeah, and that's the crazy part. That's the crazy thing about it.
Yeah, like one of my best friends when I started this whole journey, she told me she was like, "Kita," she was like, "I promise you, like once you get things up and going, she was like, God is going to draw to you the tribe of people that is meant for you. Like he's going to draw to you like the right supporters, the right people to help you and guide you." And she was absolutely right. And on the flip side, it's just like, well, I've always been a person that liked community and family and friends and stuff. So I was like, well, if I'm starting this new, everybody's going to jump aboard and,
I
support,
same thing, same thing.
And then I soon realized like you cannot force people to support your mission because God gave you that purpose and
Mhm.
that vision, only you, and no one else can see that. Like you can put forth to bring it out, but the specific details that he instilled in you is for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And like I'm just coming into that now, realizing like, okay, I do, I would love for like everybody to support what I do,
Mhm.
right? Family, friends, whomever. But I also now I can't like force somebody to do it. I have to let people do things on at their own free will. And if they
Yeah,
don't, I just be like, you know what? That's okay because what one person won't do, the next will.
exactly.
And I just try to put out good, like the good energy. Like I'm not like, look, I'm not as big as you yet. You feel me? Because
I
you be
do feel
having
I
you
do
be
feel
having
I do feel
Twitter.
for that thing.
Listen, you be having Twitter by the chains, okay? Like I'm not like that yet. All right, but like I'm gonna get up there one day.
Anything possible is definitely. I believe your show is amazing. You definitely gonna get up there. I know that for a fact.
Thank you.
I know that
I
for a fact.
I just be trying to be mindful in the certain spaces I be on social media because like I always like Twitter is like my personal, right? And
Mhm.
I mean, at first I was like real secretive and stuff about like even having people follow me, but now I'm just like, I don't care. Just govern yourself accordingly. You feel
Yeah,
me? Having,
yeah.
I don't have no problems on Twitter. Twitter ain't the problem. Social media place that I be having to block people and do a whole bunch of, people be coming in my DMs all crazy. But the community I see you uplift, I can definitely tell like you put out the energy and good vibes and support. So even my advice to you is just continue to do it. and just like don't think that people don't support you. Some people, unfortunately, because I tend to do this sometimes too.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
working on not doing it. Some people are silent supporters. Like we
Yeah.
see
Oh,
you, we
oh, I got.
listen, we
Mm.
listen, we review, and we do all this stuff, but we just don't say a lot.
Well, I get that a lot. I get that a lot. A lot of people who I went to school with do that. Like,
Mm.
it been times where I got them on social media, they don't say nothing. And then randomly I'm in the street and then, hey, what's up, Ken? I never say, no, I listen to your show, my favorite show. I'm like, you are? Like, how could I never say anything? Like, I didn't want that nobody support me. So I'd be like shocked. It'd be a lot of them people I went to school with be doing that. Silent supporters is weird.
Yeah, I've had family and like friends and people from like high school and college that have messaged me and they was like, "Oh yeah, I've listened." I'm like, "Seriously?" Cuz like I would just like I guess like expect people to say something, but again, like I can't expect everyone to say something cuz I don't even say half the stuff if I listen to people's stuff. Maybe I'll get better at it, but I'm just like the listen, the support, the review, the rate. I may DM you, I comment on stuff, but I think it also has to do with like a person just changing their perspective and their mindset around what you deserve.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what I'm saying? And just like be in a place of like, I know I deserve this. I know I'm worthy of it, and this is what I'm going to look for. Now, if it doesn't happen, I'm still going to be okay either way because I know I'll still be supported the way I'm supposed to be.
yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, before I was doing all the support on Twitter and stuff, I never used to do it. But I like sometimes you just gotta give people their flowers. I feel like we all going to the same path. We all try to get to the same goal. So
Mhm.
why not, uplift each other, support each other, and because we all going for the same goal. So let's support each other. I don't have no issue supporting
Mhm.
people, but sometimes you just have to not support others because sometimes some other people get that bad energy. I don't like to support bad energy. So
Yeah, I trust
and
me.
it's
I
through a feeling that.
understand.
And there's a feeling that in the pocket community too. So, but that's for another conversation. But yeah.
Yes, I definitely understand. And for someone that's listening right now that's in a space where they're trying to figure things out, what is something that you would like some type of advice or something positive you would tell them that can help them step into their purpose or step into their main character energy?
Just whatever you're doing, do not give up. It may seem hard at the beginning, but it's gonna get easier
Mhm.
once you got the people behind you. Once you know what you're doing, what you know what goal you setting, you know what direction you're going. It get easier, and just can't give up. You also gotta be in mind that sometimes your family and friends not gonna support you,
Mhm.
but there could be other people that you don't know, and maybe some silent supporters that will support you, and then they will see your potential and they will start to support you eventually.
Yeah.
And basically, you just got to sometimes go out there and prove people wrong. Because there's a lot of people who want to bring you down, there's a lot of doubters, and but sometimes you just have to go out there and just prove them wrong and just continue to do what God sent you to do. We all here for a reason,
Mhm.
and God gave us a gift for a reason, and He
Mhm.
wants to use that gift. So just go out there and just don't give up.
Yes, I love that. I love that. Thank you for that because I think I needed that too. Like, say
Oh,
you
by the way, that is the MrGentleman fact for the day.
hey, I make sure I split that up and send you that sound bite because I'm gonna send you that sound bite because that was good. I like your motivational moments. Sometimes they pop up, but just that's how the energy in the universe works, right? You be in a space of like needing something and then boom, it pop up. That's how
Oh,
I came across a,
you know
a
what?
lot of your videos.
I gotta tell you why I started that.
Mhm.
So a long time ago, I was also a club promoter. So I used to do quotes on my IG like a long time ago, and I'm a club promoter. So I'm in the club. Sometimes I do regular doing work in the club regular. So a random girl came up to me. She was like, "Are you Kim, the gentleman?" I like, yeah. Hey, you don't know me, but I'll be on your IG page, and I love your quotes that you be posting. I wasn't doing video yet. This was just regular quotes that I write. Say, and you helped me through hard times, and I just want to thank you for that. And I'm thinking to myself, for like, wow, really, thank you. Because when I was doing that, I wasn't thinking about what I was doing for people. I was just posting it just to post it, just to make people feel good. But I wasn't know that I was impacting people in that kind of way.
Mm-hmm.
So during the pandemic around 2020, I was going through a lot. There was social anxiety and stuff like that, and anxiety and stuff. And I said to myself, I got to do something to make myself feel a little bit more better. So I started doing quotes with the video. I just had my mic set up and stuff like that. So I was like, okay. So I need to change this podcast thing. So I started doing my quote today randomly. My hair was all with a big afro and stuff like that. Pandemic hair and stuff like that. So I just did my quote, and then it got a lot of plays and everybody liked it. So you're
Mm-hmm.
like, you know what? I'm gonna start doing it, and it just became a thing, and everybody just started liking it, and every Monday, and that's how that started.
That's good. That's a good. See, listen, see that you just have to go with it and stick with it, and look where it done
Yeah,
got you. You
yeah,
know, I so like I when I started my podcast, like I always talk about like affirmations. Like I'm
mm-hmm,
big on affirmations, and I started doing them daily. Right.
mm-hmm,
I think well no people did realize I stopped. I did stop posting them daily, not because I didn't want to share them. It definitely became very time consuming because I was doing them every single day, right?
mm-hmm.
But I still post positive messages every day, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so, you know, I thought about bringing it back or whatever, but just personally, like for me right now, it just don't work. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's all about finding like the balance and what works for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And my thing has been, I literally told people when people ask me about it or comment, like it's literally God moving through me. I've been putting out positive messages, kind of like you do your Monday ones, but I just been doing them. They happen to fall on Sundays all the time, you know, or like random days on the weekend. I'll post them because if you realize, like, I never was showing my face
um,
until now. So like, it's me stepping into my main character energy, I guess.
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's exactly what it is. Yes.
You know, becoming more comfortable with self, you know, and self validation. And I think that's very important, whether you're doing content creation or not, just in general in life, just how you move, you know. And it's just so random. This is so random. But like, I was at the hairdresser today, and the girl that was braiding my hair, we were we were watching Basketball Wives, right? Did you ever watch
Oh,
that show?
oh gosh, no. I did it like a few times, but I can't watch
But
that.
you know who Tammy Roman is that was on
Yeah.
the
Oh,
show?
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. She's on Miss Pat's show now. I know who Timmy is. Yeah.
Okay, so she was, and this is how we started the whole show over, watch from the beginning. But she was doing like a photo shoot for some like weight loss thing that she was doing. This was like season 5, I think.
Mhm,
And she was saying, you know, I never lacked confidence and I never lacked this. And me and the girl was talking like, you know what? Tammy definitely was always in her bag with her confidence. Like she never came off insecure as ever. And like she stepped in her power and then she helped some people, you know, find the true power in themselves and find their voice because she
yeah.
has such a strong, passionate voice.
Mhm.
And that's how we should be.
Yeah.
Everybody should be like, not specifically like Tammy, okay? Like, we're not throwing bottles and glasses at dinner and fighting and all that. But as far as just like really finding that balance to step into yourself
Mhm.
and be comfortable with yourself because it
Yeah.
takes a lot, you know,
It does. It does.
but you can do
It's
it.
a baggy. Yes. Like I said, don't give up. And big thing gonna happen.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. But I thank you so much for this conversation. I feel like it was definitely very pleasant. And again, I thank you for bracing my platform with your presence. Like, you don't understand how this made me feel. I'm so excited.
No, thank you for having me. And, I'm a fan of your show, and thank you for bringing me on. And I'm glad to bring your audience the best thing that I could do. I'm still working progress myself, so for you to want me on your show, it really means a lot. So once again,
Mhm.
thank you for having me.
Trust me, I'm a work in progress too. Like I don't always get it right, and I never will. You never would get hear me up here say I'm perfect. You will never see me say I get it right. Sometimes I do screw up. Like,
Mhm,
see, the thing about me, and you know, so people that know me in real life know, like, whenever I make a post on social media, or like if even if it's my words or it's not, it always has something most of the time to do with me.
yeah,
If I
yeah.
can't find the words for it, I bet you I can find a post that said how I want to say it, you know?
Mhm,
So I screw up, and I screw up times too, but the thing is, I feel like when you know better, you do better.
Yes, yeah.
So if I know how to do things better, know how to handle situations better, 9 out of 10 the next time, if it come around, I'm gonna do better.
Yeah,
That's just the space I'm in learning in life right now, and I want to continue to move in that direction. And I also had to realize that everyone can't go with me and everyone is not going to move how I move.
that's true.
But
Yeah.
I can create those boundaries for people that don't belong in my space, you
Mm,
know? And I think that's important for a lot of people to know. Like, as you go through any journey in life, whether you're healing, whatever you're going through, making good progress and you're elevating, you want everyone to come with you. You want to give everyone a task to complete to be on your team, but that's not how it's going to always be. Everyone cannot come with you. Everyone is not meant for that new season in your life.
that's definitely agree. Definitely agree 100%.
And that's the hurtful thing. I'm like, damn, I want to bring all my team.
It is.
But can you tell everyone where they can find all your social medias and your podcasts?
Oh man, yeah, y'all gonna say you're gonna think be a this gonna be a long ride. All right, so y'all can follow me on IG, Ken underscore Mr. Gentleman. I repeat, Ken Ken underscore Mr. Gentleman GentleMan. Y'all can follow the podcast page, Mr. Gentleman, like the podcast on all social media platforms. Mr. Gentleman, like the podcast each and every Sundays and Thursdays starting in May at 12 a.m. Sunday would be the main series, of my show. Thursday would be the spin-off shows, like the old school show, a conversation about music, and date night talk all will be on Thursdays, starting in May. Yeah, you can check it on all platform, Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcast, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Good Pies, and many more. Y'all can rate the show, 5-star rating on the auto platform. I definitely want you on my show for the second half of the season. This is an announcement. I want you on my show,
Okay.
and yeah, we gotta make that happen for real. And
Yes.
and once again, thank you for bringing me on to your platform. It really was a dope conversation. I
Yeah.
love your show and continue to do amazing things. I can see the show doing big things.
Listen, God willing, I hope. So thank you for that. We're going to let that manifest out into the universe and see what happens. And I will have all of his social media
Oh,
and podcast information in the
oh,
description.
oh, you're awesome. Check out my team show, the Premier Way Podcast, every Wednesday at 12 a.m. It's completely different from the gentleman. It's not for everybody, but we have fun. My brothers, we have fun. Yeah. I just want to plug that in as
Yeah,
well.
see, you're a busy man. I don't know how you do it.
I also executive produce other people's podcasts as well. Yeah, I do a lot. I do a lot. I do a lot. I do a lot.
Yes, but yes, I will have all of his information below, so you guys can definitely go follow him on social media, check out some of his shows, subscribe. They are he talks about a lot of different things. I've been checking out your relationship conversations.
Oh, they not talk. They not talk. Yeah.
Yes, I just listened to the most recent one about the Valentines and stuff, and I was like, Lord, because I spent Valentine's Day, single this year, but I'm okay
Yeah,
with that.
you're
You know
not
what
the
I'm
only one.
saying?
You're not the only one, and I'm okay with it too. You know, because I about jumping another fact. You gotta get yourself together before you give it to somebody else. So yeah.
That is a whole nother episode, but yes, you are absolutely right. Don't y'all go around here hurting other people when you ain't healed from your own hurt and pain, okay? Like, I'm not saying you gotta be 100% healed getting in a new relationship. However, do not go cutting people that did not cut you, you
True.
know?
Yes.
But anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. But again, I I thank you so much for this. And yes, just let me know. We're locked in, so you know how to reach me.
We got you.
So we can set something up. I thank you guys for checking out this conversation. I hope it, resonated with you guys. Hope you took something from it. If not, that is okay. I always say, if you know someone that it may resonate with or may enjoy the topic, please by all means send it to them. Um, Along with Mr. Ken, following him on social media. Please continue to tap in with me on social media. Um, Chronicles of a Virgo podcast on all of your social medias: Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, I think Twitter. think that's the name, something like that. But yeah, all the all the links will be in the description, so you can definitely make sure you are tapped in with both of us, and follow your girl on YouTube if you're not following me yet on YouTube, seeing my bright shiny face. Chronicles of a Virgo podcast on YouTube. And yes, don't forget to tap in with Mr. Ken and let him know what you think about his show. So thank you again, Ken, for this conversation. I really enjoyed it.
Yes,
Thank
thank you,
you.
and thank you again as well. Thank you.
Sure, sure. And thank you guys for listening. And we are out.